really good job.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Klobuchar. Senator Britt.
Thank you so much to the chair and the vice chair for holding this hearing, and to all of the witnesses for being here today. Mr. Torphy, it's great to see you again. I've certainly enjoyed my time at Redstone Arsenal with you and Director Cartel. Appreciate the briefing, and certainly hope that I encourage all of my colleagues to kind of go down and see firsthand the incredible work that you're doing. You and some of the experts at FBI Redstone also briefed us on technology developments and advancements which have made drones more lethal. And look, we know Redstone Arsenal is the epicenter of the FBI's technology, the capabilities and advanced training, and that we're going to play a central role in the FBI's strategy to combat these evolving threats of drones by providing the technological infrastructure and training facilities necessary to develop and implement effective counter-UAS strategies. But what I want to know from you is how is the FBI keeping up with countering the technological advancements and increasing lethality of drones?
Thank you for the question, Senator. And it was a real pleasure to host you along with Director Patel and Senator Tuberville at the visit at Redstone just 2 months ago. It was great for you to meet our people that do this and see some of the equipment that we use. The Redstone is a big part of that for us in that we have developed really strong relationships with the Department of Defense entities and contractor community down there. For example, the Program Executive Office Missiles and Space from the U.S. Army is right there up the street, and we have a budding memorandum of understanding with them for the validation of technologies that we can test in urban and suburban areas where we have that expertise, right? We deploy in places like New York City and Los Angeles, and we can provide that feedback back to the military. So it is just absolutely the perfect place for us to be doing this work. And with the investments that this Congress has made in those facilities and the Richard Shelby Center for Innovation and Advanced Technology, I've been able to see that facility grow in my 3.5 years living there. So it's about having that proximity to the other important parties in this space, and not just the Army, but with the other armed forces as well.
Yeah, the collaboration was really incredible. I'm interested, as you're looking at the increased number of threats, what additional authorities do you need to adequately address these concerns?
As stated in our written remarks, I think that the most important one that would deliver the most bang for the buck would be opening up the detection capabilities to all state, local, tribal, territorial, law enforcement, correctional institutions as well. Because as Mr. Willoughby said, it's very difficult to fight the enemy that you can't see. Mm-hmm. So we need visibility into the airspace. And now the FBI is not we don't monitor the airspace. We only deploy our equipment in very specific situations when there's an official need and an investigation that's occurring or a protection mission. And of course, we would expect the same from our law enforcement partners. So that is the most important thing. And of course, in the written record, we've laid out all of the important pieces.
And just quickly, when we're looking at cartels, we know Homeland Security has come out and done that threat assessment and looking at cartels using drones along the border. Is there anything in particular there that you think the Judiciary Committee needs to know, or do any state and local law enforcement need additional authorities to help us, help continue to be such good partners, but to help us combat that threat on the border?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. We're doing things with the Mexican government, the Mexican armed forces and law enforcement, trusted, vetted partners. We're sending people down there to train them on drone exploitation and the principles, again, not the specifics, but the principles of effective counter-UAS. And we are delivering best practices to them to keep them safer to fight the war. But then we're bringing back the things that they're learning in their country, because inevitably that will come into our country and we'll be better prepared. And through a training center and through the authorities delivered to the state and locals, we can then train them on what we are seeing in Mexico. So making that full link from what is happening from cartels in Mexico, all the way to training state and local law enforcement in counter UAS.
Got it. And last thing, and this is going to be for all of you. I'd like each of you to answer this. Mr. Willoughby, you brought this up. We've heard this obviously from both sides of the aisle. But as we look to what's ahead of us, whether that's the FIFA World Cup in 2026, whether that's the celebration of our nation, the 250th celebration there, whether it's the Olympics in 2028 in LA, or whether it's just football in the fall here, coming up in just a few months. Talk to me about where we are with regards to current laws governing counter UAS authorities. Are they sufficient? Number one, are the laws sufficient to actually do what you need to and protect individuals in these types of environment? And then the follow-up question is, do you have the resources and the technology available to you at your agency that you need, or do you need something greater in order to be able to protect American citizens coast to coast? And I'd like for all three of you to answer this question. Go ahead, Mr. Willoughby.
Thank you for the question. I think from an authoritative perspective, those that have the authority right now have what they need in the current statute, and we'd like to see that extended for a much longer term so that they can continue to plan strategically and budget and train and resource appropriately for those events. As was mentioned, there are tens of thousands of events that go unprotected every year from these types of threats, and we can't be everywhere, right? The federal presence, whether that's FBI or one of the DHS components, we can't be at every event. We cover the Super Bowl, right? What about the other 200 plus NFL games that are happening every year? And we need our state and local partners who are there, charged with the protection of those stadiums in concert with these private groups at the stadiums, to be able to understand what's in the airspace through detection measures and then have some sort of recourse or countermeasure capability to protect those stadiums. And again, we'll never have enough federal agents to go out and protect every NFL game, every MLB game, which means we need to rely on. Yeah, we need to rely on these state and locals as these force multipliers out there. And so beyond just keeping what we have from an authoritative perspective, we also need to look at a responsible expansion to those state and locals, to other departments or agencies at the federal level who could assist with this and close some of those gaps.
Mr. Torphy?
Schmidt.
Oh, sorry.
Senator Schmidt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to follow up on that, what is the nature, what is the extent of that mismatch of capabilities that exist?